Today I'm going to be doing some playthrough on my Paladin because it's been a while since I've done so. I've been wanting to stream more recently, but unfortunately family life has been kind of busy, so I'm basically breaking this up into parts that I can throw together. And yeah, hopefully I can show off my server, some of the features it has, and maybe give you some ideas for your own servers and custom content. And yeah, so let's just kind of jump right in. So where I left off is doing quest in Hillsbrad, obviously. And honestly, I have not done a lot of questing on the Alliance side, or sorry, Horde side. So it's hard for me to judge like whether or not a quest is working properly. That sound seems a little high. But obviously some things are a lot more, apparent than others. So, we're going to keep an eye out for things that we could potentially fix. And then just go from there. One of the cool things about Lua and Azeroth Core is that a lot of these fixes you can actually implement with Lua. So if you want a dungeon boss or something to cast a certain spell that they're not casting, that's one way to fix it. Lua is infinitely easier to deal with than basically drudging through C++ code, which is something that I'm still learning. Still learning Lua too, but it's a fun process. Right now I have my experience rate set to half, and that's just to slow things down, obviously, right? I want to make sure that I'm questing through as many zones as I possibly can, doing as many dungeons as I can, and I can always stop my experience if I need to. I have a Lua script for that as well. It lets me change my experience rate from 0.01 all the way to 3. So that's good. And then I can always turn off my experience at the experience eliminator in the capital city. Let's see what pants I just got. Strength, stamina, spirit, and resistance. That's kind of sucky, but it's better than what I have, so I'm going to use it. And we got a belt, but it's only 1 health every 5 seconds. My tank could probably use that though, right? Let's see. Nope. Just kidding. So this is a progressive realm. Basically you have to do every bit of content, more or less, before you move to the next expansion. So you have to clear out next 40. In order to do next 40, you have to do AQ40. In order to do AQ40, you have to do BWL, and so on and so forth, right? And a lot of the tables for old recipes, old quests, even experience rates, things of that nature have been restored. Talents have not been restored, so these are still Wrath talents and abilities. And Wrath mechanics as well, so you don't have things like crushing blows for the most part, which is kind of sad. So I like crushing blows because it makes orange mobs a lot more difficult to deal with, but they're super easy on Wrath, whereas I can tune things a lot easier on like C Mangos or another vanilla core like C Mangos or V Mangos. I've also been thinking about what to replace for Crusader Strike in my talent tree, because I have Crusader Strike as baseline. So I will probably start with something boring and make it more complicated from there.
Arcanon Poros. Be well. What brings you here?
And when I do make a new talent, I'll probably create a video on it just so people can know what to do. I'm also thinking about just creating some tier sets for protection and retribution, as well as maybe feral druids for the earlier content tiers. I've done some of that stuff already on my other server, my vanilla server, and that was pretty fun actually. So, yeah. Now sometimes it's really hard for me to judge the difficulty of mob just because I'm in groups, so I'm going to go ahead and dismiss some of my people after I kill this. Yeah, see, burst damage right now because of Crusader Strike is extremely high. So maybe I should just remove it, but I kind of like having it at lower levels because otherwise Paladin is extremely boring to play. And I'm going to just dismiss everyone except for my healer.
Hi, how are you?
And I'm going to make sure you're set to just healing. So right now you're set to DPS. And then we can get a better base of like what kind of damage things do. So I have some friends who've been playing Dragonflight, and they say it's really good. Which is actually good to hear. I'm glad that the retail game is doing better. I haven't played since Legion. And frankly, I have no intention of ever going back to the live game. I just don't have the time. Like, I have time, right? But my time is always, like, interrupted. So I don't get these long stretches of time to do raiding. And I'm extremely competitive, just by nature. So I can't play casually. I just can't. It's not what I do. But if it's my own server, I feel a lot more freedom to just do raids when I want to, PvP when I want to. Things of that nature, right? Obviously on this server I can't really PvP with bots. Maybe Trickerer will implement something like that in the future. Maybe, I don't know. He's kind of hinted at it. It'd be cool to actually know one way or another. If that's something that you plan on doing, if you're watching this. I know he watches my streams on occasion, so yeah, it'd be really cool. I know that, for example, vMangos has party bots, right? Or battle bots, I guess. I don't know. What do they call them? vMangos basically has bots that you can summon, kind of like NPC bots. And they'll do dungeons with you. And they can auto queue for BGs as well, so that's just... I'm just curious to see what sort of scripting is involved there when it comes to Battlegrounds. One of the things you'll notice too is that my mana regen and health regen are super slow, and that is to more closely align with what regen rates were back in vanilla and TBC. So makes me have to actually sit and eat and drink and all that fun stuff, which is also why I have Divine Plea at such a low level. Like even with Divine Plea, I still have to sit and drink and stuff. But it just gives me a little bit extra. So it's funny, there's a dungeon finder tool in my other server where basically you talk to an innkeeper and you queue for a meeting stone with player bots, and player bots will join the queue, right? There was a bug with the Nomergen teleport because it teleports you to the dungeon after you've found enough party members, where they just fell through the map, so I have to adjust the Z-axis on that teleport location. And I also, so the other thing too is like, he wanted to be able to queue for Ragefire Chasm, but couldn't since he's Alliance. And so now I've made that possible as well, but I'm trying to figure out how to let him queue at level 13 rather than level 17, but I'll figure it out eventually. I think it's a good queue system. It's basically what you would get in retail anyway, because you're getting summoned to a summoning stone. So it's not like, oh yeah, you just press a button and you go straight to the dungeon. It's like, yes, you do press a button. I mean, that's what games are, right? It's pressing buttons. So you do press a button and you go to the summoning stone, which is somewhat better. Makes you have to do some running, right? So you're not skipping certain content like the outside dungeon of Dead Mines. One of the things that I've been having a hard time tuning on that server actually is Paladin damage. So they scale really well, a lot better than I thought they would with gear. So I'm trying to figure out a happy medium now to ensure that their abilities still do like sufficient damage, but also aren't just overpowering the entire meta of the game, and still, you know, making it not a pain in the butt for low levels. If you see my character jump around a lot in terms of like from one screen to the other, it's probably because I had an interruption and am starting over again. So my kid just woke up, and my wife and I went and saw Avatar yesterday, which was actually pretty awesome. I'm a big fan. Hate on it all you want, but I think it's a fantastic series. What else? So, yeah, got Avatar 1 playing in the background now. While my kid eats a bit. Did not mean to pull all this crap. Yeah, see, if this were normal vanilla, I would have totally died there. And if I didn't have a healer. But, fortunately for me, Seal of Command is extremely overpowered for this content. It looks like my healer's out of mana too, so maybe I'd have been fine. I'm sure I'd have been fine. Really just depends on the server core. A lot of the vanilla cores for like various private servers are actually harder than classic was, if you ask me. I feel like the damage was just way too high. But I like higher damage rather than lower damage. I'd rather have things be more difficult than too easy, because otherwise you just get bored out of your mind. It's also got a reward system, so if you see me opening like random bags of silver or honor tokens, it's because I got a reward from the game system. And this is just one big chain of mobs. I want to sit and drink. Oh my hell. Do not pull more. Oh my word, you just need to stay. Alright. Lesson learned. Set your freaking bot to stay. Alright. That's done. Alright, I have my freaking healer set to follow, or stay right now. So, that's good. Doesn't seem to be helping much though, does it? This area is just garbage for... Oh my hell. Alright. One of these days, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna move on to the next area. It might not be today, but it'll be someday. And I just leveled. So, one of the things I did, because I increased my base speed, I also increased the speed of pretty much every mob, by 10% also, so that, you know, you couldn't just kite them unfairly, because that's not good design, right? Alright. That should be good. Let's go to the mines next. Alright. And I'm just gonna run away from anything that starts attacking me at this point. Because I'm done. Thinking about reverting the talent changes that I made. Basically, I made it so that you can get enough talent points by level 70. Sorry, by level 60. So you don't need to get any more talents. Partially because this is a progressive realm, right? So... yeah, that's a thing. But I don't think I really need it. And in fact, it's probably causing a larger power creep than I really want. So, there's that. But at the same time, I also want like my full toolkit, you know what I mean? If I'm going to be raiding on this tune, I want to be able to actually play the character the way it was intended to play. Not, you know, any other way, so... I love that spell so much, man. Alright. In fact, you know, I'm going to see about either creating a... because I actually haven't capped it at 60. I'm going to see if I can cap it at 60 somehow, though. Talents. Maybe... I just don't know where they assign talents in the actual SQL file, or if it's assigned somewhere else. If not, I'll just make a Lua or something. I don't know. Well, I looked up the code for setting a limit to 71 talent points, and yeah, I'm gonna need help figuring it out, to be honest, because I've just barely started with C++, and I need yeah, there's just not enough knowledge there. So, yep, I'm asking around, and I'm gonna see if I can get an answer, but yeah, would be good. Alright, so it looks like this mine is going to be a pain in the butt, which is fine. I think I only have one minion with me. Okay, good. Nope, just kidding. I have all of you guys. And if you see my day and night cycles swapping at a really rapid rate, it's not because I'm leaving one day and coming back the next or whatever. I actually have my day-night cycle set to be 60 minutes. So 60 minutes is a full 24-hour cycle. So yeah. You know, I really like the way that they pretty much run directly to one of their friends that is very retail-like. On the other server, mobs won't chain even if they run over. That's been fixed in a recent core update, but I have not implemented it, so I don't know why I'm complaining then. But it was really annoying for the longest time. I'm like, alright. So every once in a while, I still expect like nothing to get pulled, and I'm always surprised when stuff does get pulled. What happened to Judgment of, I think it's Vindication, the one that makes it so you can't, the mobs can't run away. I'll have to look. I just don't remember. Alright. It's a fun little add-on that I found with in an add-on community on Discord. The bag one. It's probably the best sorting bag I've ever come across. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can add armor types to it. Put things in sections. I haven't really done it on this tune, but on my other character, you can actually like separate things out even further. So all the new items get highlighted, and then if you want to reset it, you just hit this new button. Some of you might be wondering, well, how do you drag like an item over or whatever? You just go down here to this free slot. He's probably right down there. How much you want to bet? Yep. Nope. Miner, Hackett. Miner, Hackett. Miner, Hackett. Yeah, man, red mobs. Feels like I should not be able to do this. Alright, well, I don't see him. Maybe if I go around, I do remember him being kind of in a wonky position at one point when I used to try some of these. So I'm trying to get into the habit of making my characters stay and follow whenever I want them to. I think it's a good habit to be into. That way you can kind of control their moving around a bit. I really want to start doing like some strategy guides for bots when I reach max level for raids. Because there's certain boss fights where you're like, well, how am I supposed to do that with bots? And the answer is usually somewhat complicated and creative. So, alright, I'm gonna die. Just kidding. I mean, I really should die. Like, this is unacceptable in some ways. Except I am a paladin, so, I mean, there's that. Attack it! Attack it! But you don't attack things, because I didn't set you to freaking attack. Alright. Yeah, so you can set your healers to attack. I just decided not to for whatever reason. You can... I'm thinking that you can change their roles mid-combat. You just have to use a macro, and I don't have it set up. So... that's why I didn't do anything. Maybe not, though. I don't really see a huge need to change roles mid-combat. I don't know. I'll have to look. There's a huge guide that Trickerer has been very meticulous about keeping updated and adding information to. Super helpful. I wish every add-on had some, or sorry, every module or anything like that had a guide like he does, because that is just brilliant. Player bots, they have a help function if you whisper the bots help, but it's really not that great. Like, the average person will not really know what they're looking at when they whisper them help, because it's like divided into different groups. I'm thinking about different ways maybe to make it easier, but the problem is also the interface with WoW. Like, if you want to create an index, it's going to look ugly in the chat window, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and it's not like 100%, this is what this does, and this is what that does. But, there he is. Alright. The wonky position. Had her set to stay still, so that's why she was hanging back. I've kind of gotten used to making sure my bots are with me, because the player bots I had to make follow all the freaking time. Especially when they started in combat, they wouldn't just start combat. I'd actually have to tell them to follow first, and it was like, okay, like the average person's not going to do that, and they're going to be confused. And I have friends on there who are quote-unquote average people, and they have no idea what they're doing half the time because they don't have a guide. There's not, you know, and even if there are guides, they're kind of dated and they're changing things all the time, and no one really just go over there and stay there. But yeah, no one records a changelog for the most part. The only changelog we get are the commits that you see on GitHub, but those are a pain to navigate, right? I really like the organization of NPC bots, infinitely better than player bots, so. It's just more intuitive, right? Like, I feel like you have to use these +co and +nc commands with player bots all the time, and it just doesn't make sense to most people. It's like, just simplify it. Why do we have to have commands for combat and out of combat? Where did I set my Hearthstone? It's kind of close, right? Silver Pine. No. Alright. Just gonna run out of here. Make like a tree and leaf. Make like an egg and scramble. Probably shouldn't bother hitting them, but I don't want them necessarily going after my healer a whole lot. I guess she doesn't get dazed though. Aw, crap. Alright, alright. Don't die. You got this. If I died, I would have deserved it. Sea Mango's made changing leash radiuses and whatnot actually super easy to modify. So, okay, stop running. Like, I get why healers run. It'd be nice if they ran towards, like, the leader in those situations. Or the tank, if there's a tank role set.
The loon be with you.
Did I get the Ichor? I think I just got the quest item. Cool. And no, by the way, I'm not actually using an Ashbringer. It's just transmog. Because, you know, if I was using Ashbringer, I would probably be one-shotting things. So, especially considering... well, close to one-shotting, I guess. I need to change the radius on that, apparently. Let's see. Let's see how big the radius is. I thought it was 10. That's okay, I guess. So funny, though. That's the epic, or sorry, legendary version. I'm thinking about making a quest line for Ashbringer, actually. I think it'd be kind of fun. And giving players the option to choose between a few different ones would be nice. Alright, let's train a bit, because I have not trained yet, even though I leveled. Alright. There we go.
Victory lies ahead.
I don't know why that happens. I think it's client side, though. That it? Lame?
We will have justice.
Yeah, healers kind of... let me see, because I want to see what they sort of do. Maybe I can... Alright, pull aggro. Like, seriously. Alright, whatever. Give up. I will do it on the next one. One of the nice things that I like about priests is they'll actually use their fate ability properly. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. See, bot just runs away. I can't really tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. And then she resets position. Maybe. Or maybe she just goes... yeah, I have no idea. Apparently I have the wrong weapon on, so that's fun. What's the point of transmog if you don't even notice it? Do you even have a wand? I don't think so. One spirit. Yeah, that's better.
May the stars
Apparently I have another wand. Yeah, they're both pretty garbage. One of the cool things about the reagent bank, if I have it here, is that there's no actual limit to how many items you can put in it. Which again is probably not a good thing, because it just undermines your actual bank or the guild bank or whatever. And it's count bound, so I can actually access it from another tune, which is really fun. So that's good. Alright, quest turn-ins. And maybe sell some items. Poor frog. So I was messing with leveling earlier, and now I have a bunch of mail for leveled up rewards. I even got the server first 80, but I'm not going to take those, so... Mountain lion blood. Woohoo! I want to see if she moves even as DPS. Let's see.
Goddess bless you.
So, actually, let's just try DPS. How's that work? Okay, so as melee, she'll just hug the target apparently, but she won't actually smack him with her staff, so that's a good thing. Let's see.
Peace be with you.
Rolls. Can I even set her as a tank? That's kind of funny. Yeah, DPS ranged. Let's see if they run away as well, because, like, again, if we could get them to just reset their position and run to the tank, I think that would be a positive thing, right? Yeah. So I managed to cap talent points at 71, so you get all your max talent points by 60, and you don't get any more after that. It's super simple. I just had to make it complicated initially, so... Yeah, that'll be a good change, I think. That way I can actually use all my talents at 60, because I hate not having your full talent set at 60, right? I can easily decrease the player damage or, you know, increase mob health or something to compensate for the power creep, but, you know. Alright, killing mountain lions. So Vincent, on his stream today, was asking me why player bots and NPC bots are so different. And there's really a couple answers, but it really just comes down to responsiveness. So as of right now, player bots are super not responsive. They just... Sometimes you can get them to perform an action, sometimes you can't. They're not very good at following at the moment either. So you have to constantly remind them, hey, follow. NPC bots act more like minions, whereas player bots act more like players, but really crappy ones. So Yeah, player bots actually use real player data, whereas the NPC bots use creature data. So that's part of it. The other part of it too is that player bots has to work across 3 expansions, and NPC bots only really has to work for one version of the game, which is Wrath, right? So you have to make sure that your code overlaps and is just fine. I don't know why I started killing Yetis, man. Guess I just kind of wanted to see how hard they hit. Got a new UI. Hopefully you like it. I don't really like LVUI all too much, so that's why I went with something else. And I was getting really sick of the standard Blizzard UI, so, you know. Alright, who do I need to kill some things over there still? Interesting. Alright, Mr. Priest. Mrs. Priest, I guess. I guess if I cared about such things... never mind. I won't go into it. Right, I gotta make my priest stay so she doesn't pull extra stuff. So I've been thinking about other ways to make Crusader Strike more interesting. But apart from like making it chain, like hitting more than one target, or what else? Maybe I could make it like a something that heals myself. I don't know. Would be kind of fun to mess with the meta, but I feel like Paladins already have too much survivability. So that's a thing. And now I've made them more mobile, so they're probably, considering the changes I've made, they're probably one of the most mobile classes in the game right now. All from one spell, really. Shaman I've also changed so that you can cast Lightning Bolt while moving. I really like that in Mist of Pandaria, so... And Shamans really need all the help they can get. Like, my Shaman is still struggling to keep up in damage, even after some of the buffs I gave it. Who knows? Sometimes scaling can be tricky, because what sucks at lower levels does not necessarily mean it's going to suck at higher levels, so... That's something I really learned on the vanilla server with Paladins, especially, and I'm trying to fix at the moment, is their individual scaling of abilities. So... Alright, let's see. Gotta find more peasants. Be nice if farmers counted as peasants, because they're pretty much peasants, right? I can see my health so much easier now. I forgot that taunt got a range in Wrath, because in vanilla you can't. You have to be like 2 feet away from the person, or from the target rather. I might change that on the other server, because I really like the ranged taunt. Ooh, nice 2-handed blade. 6 attack power. Kind of does a little bit more damage, right? So I screwed up and I was playing with the enchanter. So I accidentally enchanted my claymore with mongoose, so I just changed it to spirit. I'll get rid of it on the next sword that I get, but till then, I get a little extra spirit. No, I'm probably going to move this screen up here just so you guys can see whatever I type, because sometimes it gives a pretty good hint as to what I'm doing, especially if you're someone who's using NPC bots. Yeah, my biggest thing, my biggest suggestion if you're using player bots or NPC bots is that you do have a handful of macros that you use. It just makes things infinitely easier to just have something where you can say, hey, you know, go there, and then set the location, have them follow, send them back to the location, rather than having to, I don't know how else you would do that without macros. I mean, type things out, I guess, but it's like, whatever. I also made it so that white smoke flares only last a short duration, and I took the cooldown off of them because I just want to use them for bots, and I don't want them to be abused. I might just make it a baseline spell for everyone, but we'll see. I could do something else. It's just I like smoke flares. Smoke flares are fun. Ooh, nice shoulders, maybe. What do you have? Yeah, you have garbage. There you go. Ooh, even nice belt. Eh. Eh. Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that. So I recently installed a module that allows you to do the war event for Anchorage. Progression server has the quest event, I guess you could say, to get you, because basically you need to do the Scarab Lord quest in order to move on to the next content phase. And I will be, basically recording all of that. But it didn't have the collections, and I don't think it had the random mobs spawning. I could be wrong about that one, but they do now, so that's a thing. I might have to make sure that there's not any overlap though, because there's probably some overlap. I just don't want it to break each other. You know what I mean? Like I saw some overlap with creature dialogue in Silithus, but it wasn't too terribly terrible. So I'd say as long as I prioritize individual progression over that one, everything should be fine. Alright. Peasants, man. Just need one. There you are. That is such a fun spell. Like, I'm really proud of Holy Leap as a concept. Initially, I didn't know what visual to use, and I'm like, you know what? I could just use wings. Why not? And now I can walk on water for 10 seconds while I'm using it as well, which is really fun. It's like Jesus walked on water, right? And priests are basically Jesus, or sorry, paladins. So why not make them walk on water? Maybe I could have them walk on water all the time. I don't know. just like a unique perk of Paladins. By faith alone. Ooh, that's a very nice ring. Too bad it's probably not as good as what I have. Nope, it's definitely better. I don't know. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I like the new UI that I have. I usually don't like custom UIs, but I just wanted to do something different. Something that was more clean, I guess. That I'm probably going to have to move because I want it to go kind of over here. But yeah, so I don't know. I think most people get frustrated with player bots and decide they're not worth the trouble. And I think that's a big mistake. I think that if most people just sat there and actually read my community guide that I put out there, I think things would go a lot smoother for them. Now, my community guide for player bots is not perfect. There's a lot of old misinformation on there, but it'll at least get you in the right direction. I have plans to update it, but it's been in the works for a long time, so I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. I would like to, though. I really like the HD version of Hillsbrad. Yeah, whoever did the tile sets for this one did an amazing job. I don't know if that was Khyle or if he imported it from other people's work, but seriously, good job on that. Whoever you are, wherever you are. So I've been thinking about ways to import Divine Steed and make it work indoors on this Wrath client. It was a lot easier on vanilla. I just disabled mounts indoors, and the client side takes care of indoor mounting basically. So you still can't mount indoors, but at least with the Divine Steed you can. It's a little bit, the last time I tried it on a Wrath server or a TBC server, it didn't work, so I'm going to try again, but I don't know if Paladins really need much more mobility. But I really do like it as a spell. I think that was one of the best things that Legion added. Gust of Wind is just awesome too for shamans. Like I am super sad that they took that out of the game. And yeah, leaping abilities do break certain things, right? Like you can bypass certain, I don't know, mechanics or something, or jump over walls that you're not supposed to, but I don't really care. I think that's part of fun. Like, break things if you want. Just don't crash the server and we'll be good. Alright. Also made it so the gold doesn't pop up whenever I loot it now, because that was really obnoxious. When I started using the Pretty Loot add-on, it made this really annoying sound when you pick things up. So just ended up disabling that. So if you end up using Pretty Loot, I think it's called, as an add-on, then whatever. But maybe I should do a video on like the best changes to happen to certain classes. I think that would be a fun one. I just feel like I'm kind of confined into this private server niche and niche, I guess, and it kind of stifles my creativity in terms of what content I push out there. So maybe if I expand to the current game as well, that might be good. I don't play Dragonflight though. I just don't have the wherewithal. Like I don't want to deal with other people. I do not have the time. It's really just hard. I like being able to raid when I want to. Like if I need to leave for a weekend to go to Oregon to see my sister, for example, I can do that anytime with bots, and no one will be upset. I won't be benched when I get back. Like I understand what Vincent says about like you need to have a healthy community for Classic, and especially for private servers. I understand that, but I gotta be honest, like there's a ton of custom private servers popping up, number one, right? The popularity of private servers has decreased significantly. And yes, I think that things are going to get better here soon, but I also know that it's just going to be a natural state of decay for forever, right? So I do think that these projects, player bots, is extremely important for the future of just having, you know, servers around. So do I have to release you? I don't know. Humans, Eston. Alright. I've done this quest before and I never knew where all the keys were, so that's good. Let me make sure I didn't... maybe I already picked it up, I don't know. Nope, I did not. And I'm gonna sell some crap. And sort and tidy. Cool. See, I love this bag, man. Whoever modified Addy bags, good job. Like seriously, that was really some good work. Hands down, a million times better than Bagnon or whatever that stupid add-on's called. But sorry, I shouldn't call it stupid. Like that was someone's project, you know what I mean? But I just would rather have bags that allow me to sort things more meticulously if I want to. Sorry, what did you say his name was again?
Blood and thunder.
Eston. Okay, he's not here. So maybe he's over there. Honestly, I'm very much looking forward to raiding with NPC bots again, because it's been a while. I haven't done them like any sort of raiding since like October of last year, I want to say, when it comes to bots. I mean, I've tried things here and there on player bots, but it just never ends very well, or hardly ever does, and it's just a lot of hassle. But NPC bots have gotten a lot better, and they were already doing amazingly in you know, places like Nax or Travel the Crusader. I did a little bit of Ice Crown with them too, and they were doing great. So they did struggle a bit on certain fights in Ulduar, hard modes, right? I don't know as we'll ever get bots to the point that they can do hard modes, but I do plan on doing hundreds, if not thousands, of pulls. using different strategies with bots just to see if it can be done. I just want to push things to their limits because it's always good to push things to their limit. So I've been thinking about the priests or healers or whatever running back to the tanks. I don't think that would be a good idea, to be honest. I think it's just as easy as, like, if you really want them to run to the tank, just set them to melee. It's really not that difficult, and usually being in melee is not gonna hurt your healers or whatever. So usually. I don't know why I'm doing this as if I'm doing Caverns of Times, but that's maybe I should do the actual quest. How about that? Yeah, the one downside to using macros is obviously you guys can't see as much as what I'm doing, so you kind of just have to pay attention to my chat commands. But my macros are basically connected to, like, my follow command is Shift E and my stay command is Shift D. Shift R for, you know, the movement thing, but maybe I should stop and drink. That would be good. Yeah, if anyone wants to know what add-ons I'm using, I'm more than happy to do a video on it and leave links in the description or something like that. I think it would be good. Only if you want, though. Alright, let's go free Mr. Green Ogre. Or Orc, I guess. This is whatever, same thing, right? Let's see if my bot will follow. And she's kind of... You're doing great. Now just follow me this way. Or just follow me that way. That's good too. Yep. I was worried she was going to go all the way around.
Stronghold. Go with honor. Zug.
Awesome. Yeah. I would like to animate that quest so that he runs away and then respawns. I might do that. I don't know. I'm not really worried about quests right now, to be honest. I'm just more so worried about quality of life, basic features other than quests, and making sure everything runs smoothly, because that's phase 1, right? I'm also interested in custom spells and scaling right now. So yeah, I mean, maybe to some people this server is more boring than the other one, or maybe to a lot of people, I don't know, but I actually enjoy it infinitely much more. And I guess you just become disenchanted because you're the one who worked on the content, right? So kind of over the vanilla server, but not really at the same time. It's like I'll go back and forth with it. All right, let's see.
For the horde.
Now I really want to get rid of the error sound, where when you're trying to cast a spell, it makes a sound saying you can't use the spell right now, but not the speech one. That one, I hate that sound so much. So one of the nice things about Murky is that I can set my binding location to wherever I want. So if I decide I want to go off and level professions, I can do that off camera and then come back to the same area. Then just start recording from there. Oh man, alright. Let's get out of combat and then I'll get up on my mount again. My trusty mule. So some of these mounts and things that I've created, I'll probably end up making as quest lines at some point. Like, you know, I like level 1 mounts. I don't know, I guess I've done the content enough times that I don't really need to go at a sedate pace. Well, that's kind of ironic considering I put experience at 50%, but you know what I mean? I just don't need to travel from place to place so slowly. I'd rather spend a long time doing meaningful activities than doing things like traveling, which I updated the teleport menu to actually have icons now on my Hearthstone, so that's kind of fun. I'm debating whether or not I want to add places like Khyle or some of the other outdoor PvP zones in TBC, maybe Wintergrasp as well, but we'll see. We'll get there. I'll probably do that at some point. I think it's probably a good idea. Might be useful to someone, right? Alright, let's turn some quests in, shall we? Alright. But yeah, I plan on doing the Scarab Lord quest on every single tune that I level up. It'll be good.
This had better be good.
Alright, well,
Victory.
Stanley, where are you at, Stanley? Ah, over there. Alright, well, I think that's probably a good point to stop at for the moment. But yeah, thanks for watching, and leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you on the other side of Azeroth.